All right, good morning and welcome to Friday. How's everybody doing? You know the routine. We're going to try to get a couple people on here, see if anybody jumps on. But good Friday morning to you. I hope everybody's having a fantastic week thus far. If you jump on, or if you're watching this, jump on, say hello, leave a comment, let me know you're out there. But we're going to get started here in just a moment. Lots going on this week. Let's dive into it. Like I said, if you guys jump on, let me know that you're out there. Jump on, say hello. Andrew, good morning, brother. How are you? Doc, how are you, brother? Thanks for jumping on. I'm going to be talking about your guys' stuff here in a couple minutes. Got the events and stuff that we're going to be talking about coming up today and throughout the weekend. Don't forget, folks, that September is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. We should always be doing buddy checks on your buddy. So if you're not doing that, today's a great day to get started on that. Do a buddy check on your buddies. So, hey, good morning, Steven. How are you, brother? So let's, I'm going to just start this show off right off the bat and address the elephant in the room. Queen Elizabeth has passed. And you know, however you look at that, condolences. 96. A lot of people were surprised. She was 96. So, you know, condolences, but at the same time, you know, and regardless of how you feel about her, you know, it's different. The internet lit up after the news of her passing. You know, she took the crown at the age of 25 and held it for 70 years, 70 plus years. So that's quite a feat, really. I think married a cousin and a slew of other things, but yeah. So I'm gonna bring that up. More importantly, this weekend, this Sunday is September 11th, and so we want to, don't forget, remember. It's a day that we certainly remember here in the United States. So September 11th, this Sunday. Make sure you remember, say the names, and let us not ever forget that dreadful day on September 11th, 2001. Let me get caught up here. God bless Queen, amazing legacy, absolutely. She was a war fighter. 52. Wow. Thank you for jumping on. Appreciate it. Let me throw another, I guess, wrench, if you will, in this week, talking about it, because this kind of jumped off after the announcement that the Queen had passed. What are your guys' thoughts on gold? You know, we haven't had a gold standard since, the 60s? 73, maybe? Don't quote me on the dates. I'm a little rusty on that. Do you think that we're going to go back to a gold standard? Just kind of curious. I'm throwing it out there. I'm not going to get too much detail to it because everybody's going to start calling me a conspiracy theorist. I'm not doing that, today at least. But it's just kind of interesting. Andrew, what are you doing here? Chaperone for Junior ROTC. Good for you. Awesome. Right on. Scuttlebutt podcast with Jay Clark. All right. Christina, good morning, dear. How are you? Appreciate you jumping on. Doc says buy as much as you can. Yeah, the gold. Yes, I agree. It's different. I'm not really sure. I haven't done much investing, quite honestly. and precious metals. Looked at it and have always been kind of up in the air with it. I know it's important. You just never know who to go to. So if anybody's got any recommendations or referrals, by all means, put them in here so the group can see. See what we got here now. Yeah, man, that's, you want to talk about a time. It's tragic that when 9/11 happened, that the entire country came together, and we were probably one of the closest times we've been in a very, very long time in our nation's history. And then it just kind of dissipated from there. It's a good point, though. Yeah, I wish we were close as a country and as a community as we were back then, without having to go through something tragic like that. So, Stephen, gold became popular again after the crypto crush. Yeah, you know what? It's funny you bring that up, because somebody else mentioned that, and then a lot of people are really pushing, even though the crypto thing kind of has crashed a little bit, people are thinking that's going to be around for quite a while. Hold on just a second, guys. This is bothering me here. My bow tie is crooked as sin here. Let me see here. What do we got here? Assets, precious metals. Yeah, same as real estate. That's a good point too. Real estate, that's another thing. If you could get into that, and I know real estate is through the roof right now. It is expensive. I know those of you want a really good real estate show. He used to be on the network. Our buddy David, from Military to Millionaire, he had a podcast, and you can follow him from Military to Millionaire on social media, and he does a breakdown of it. Marine veteran, turned multimillionaire, does a lot of real estate deals all over the country. So it was pretty interesting stuff that he talks about. Yeah, well, so I'm glad that we're talking about this gold stuff. I'm really curious. So if you are out there and you dib dab in precious metals and whatnot, what's been your take on it? Have you had a good experience with it? Obviously, precious metals is something that people should be investing in. I don't think it's talked about enough. I've been dib dabbing and learning about it, and then quite honestly, I've never really pulled the trigger on it, and I can't even give you an honest answer why I haven't, other than I was skeptical and just didn't know where. Quite honestly, didn't know where to go. I wasn't going to get ramrodded, you know. So that's really that's really the take on it. So, all right, listen, let's get started. I got some events coming up. I got to talk about these events. We got two events. One starting today. Starts at 4:30. If you're in Tennessee, Clarksville area, the Clarksville, Tennessee, that's up near, those of you who don't know, military types, that's Fort Campbell area up there just north of Nashville. Go up there today. Live music, food trucks, vendors, guest host Boone Cutler, Malachias, I believe he's going to be up there. Actually, Malachias is going to be performing today. Up at Liberty Park, 4:30 p.m. The admission is free parking. So why not go? If you're in Tennessee, get on up to Clarksville for the Spartan Pledge 2022. It's going to be awesome. And then tomorrow, September 10th, if you're down in Maury County, which is also in Tennessee, to be exact, it's Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, over at William Springs Park, they're going to be doing the Holistic Trauma Recovery Suicide Prevention Fair. Food trucks, music therapy, yoga, equine therapy, art therapy, vendors, Tai Chi, and a slew of other things. So if you're in Tennessee, you got a lot going on this weekend. So check those things out. September 23rd, the All Heroes Welcome Ball in Tampa, Florida. Only 50 seats are left. Actually, there's less than that. There's less than 50 seats that are available for the Welcome Ball that supports Team Otto. If you go to heroeswelcomeball.com, tickets are $100. What does that get you? Gets you in the door. Gets you food, and it gets you the cocktail hour that they have. This is an awesome event. This is my third year attending. Hopefully we'll see you guys down there. But go to heroeswelcomeball.com, or you can also go to teamauto.org. September 23rd, All Heroes Welcome Ball. The money that they use is to raise for their very unique veterans closet that they have. They suit up veterans with a fit-to-made suit, custom suit for the veteran transitioning out of the military. And that suit is made right here in the good old US of A. So check that out. Heroes Welcome Ball, September 23rd. Less than 50 seats left that are available. So if you're interested in that, by all means, go check it out and get your tickets today. What else? Hats. Only got about 5 left out of the 20 that we had. So if you want one, shoot us an email at hats@hmgbeverage.com. They're $25. That includes shipping. So get your hats today. What else? All right, listen, let's get into the shows. It's been a busy, busy week with shows this week. First up in the queue, I'm going to talk about the Decision Hour with yours truly. This was a fun episode this week because I sit back with an old Army friend of mine that I was in the Guard with way back in the day. And the title of this one is Finding Your Voice. And it's with singer-songwriter Hannah Praley. Hannah grew up on the Navajo Reservation up in northern Arizona. We served together. That's how I know her. I'm going to say there was a lot of laughs in this episode because she decided to share a few funny stories. Might be at my expense a little bit, so you're definitely going to get a good laugh. But it was a good time. But she talks about her military days a little bit. She was a truck driver. She talks about how she used truck driving as a means to pay for her creative projects. Excuse me. And then we wrap up the show with her sharing a very personal decision hour. And then one of the other lessons in this episode that you learned is how she got into songwriting and what it means to her. And she encourages people that are interested in that to do it, writing. So check it out. That's this week's Decision Hour. What do we got next? Next up, we got the Arms Room Show. This week, they're discussing the do's and don'ts of home security. This is something everybody should be listening to and taking note. Have you looked at what you're doing for your home security? Cameras, other things. Do you have any firearms? What do you do for your home security? Check it out. That's this week's The Arms Room Show. Next up, we got Because Bikers Matter podcast. Those of you that ride, you definitely want to pay attention. In honor of National Suicide and Prevention Month, we want to share this impactful episode. Guest from the annual suicide prevention, Sean, is sharing his story and taking action to prevent more loss. Very powerful episode on this one. So check this one out. It's Because Bikers Matter podcast. It's a good show. It's a really good show. Dave does a pretty cool job with that. What do we got next? Next up, we got our three amigos. Pushing Back Chaos. This one here, you might want to have some tissues ready with this episode. Pushing Back Chaos. This week's topic is Know Your Value. Listen, life beats us up. It's unforgiving. We've been lost, deceived, injured, heartbroken, and a slew of other words you can throw in there. But everybody goes through it. Tough times, right? Challenging times. And as we say, nobody gets a pass, right? Nobody gets a pass. What we need to remember is that our personal value must remain in the mirror at all times. What do we mean to ourselves, our family, our friends, maybe a team at work? Or how about those that you don't even know that you affect? there's a stigma out there that echoes once you've been beaten down, broken, made mistakes, had your heart broken or injured, you no longer have value. You're expendable or replaceable. And quite frankly, folks, that's not the truth. And that's what the guys are talking about in this week's episode. Look in the mirror today and know your value. There's a lot of us that go through stuff, and I think this is such a profound episode given the fact that we're in Suicide Prevention Month, September. But take a listen to this episode and really immerse yourself into it, and you look in the mirror and ask yourself, have you had doubts about yourself and wondered what your value really is and what you mean to other people and whatnot? Because you mean something to somebody, and a lot of the times, a lot of people, myself included, we go through. It's like we don't realize what we mean to other people, what we've done or what we do for other people, just being here. So those are all things you got to take into consideration. Powerful episode. Take a listen to it. It's called Pushing Back Chaos. Check it out. Next up, we got the Power of Investing in People podcast with our gal Shay Sparks. Overcoming Cancer During Wartime with Brandy Benson. Brandy is a CEO, founder of a resume company that she had started. She's had a chance to work with a variety of clients, including professionals, technical, engineering, education management, executives, and a slew of others. She's an Army veteran. She graduated from Savannah College of Arts and Design with a master's in writing, which definitely has helped her with her talent to discover her dream job, looking for by hitting key phrases and buzzwords for a particular industry. What do I mean by that? She helps people write their resume in such a manner that moves them kind of the top of the food chain with certain buzzwords and key phrases. So pretty interesting show. Check it out. It's this week's The Power of Investing in People podcast. Next up, we got the Ibaldi reports. Listen, these guys, just facts, no fiction. This week's topic, learning loss. One of the topics, I should say. They do multiple episodes throughout the week, but this one really caught me. I'm going to title it Learning Loss. A report issued by the respectable National Assessment of Educational Progress traced a long-term trend in reading and mathematics progress for children at the age of 9-year age level to examine the students' achievement during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the progress showed probably something that we're all not really surprised about is a severe learning loss throughout this period. So what does that mean? How is this going to affect our future? What does it mean for our future? Are things going to change? They answer some of these questions, give you some outlook on this. So check it out, especially if those of you that are out there that have the kids at home that are still in school and whatnot, you definitely want to pay attention to this. So that's this week's Ibaldi reports. Check it out. Next up, we got License for Love. This week's topic is GI Mom. Careers of parents is a hot topic post-pandemic. Some have given up their career to become a stay-at-home parent, and some have decided to work remotely to manage multiple children. We answer the question, though, what if none of this was an option? What are you going to do? So in this episode, they talk with Brianna, their special guest. They laugh, and then they ask some serious, emotional questions. Being a mom away from home, and discuss how quality is always more important than quantity. We answer these questions. How does she manage it all? We ask her, why is consulting important? And then we also ask, what's the importance of having a strong spouse? I'm sorry, why is counseling? Why is counseling important? Great episode. So check that out. That's this week's License for Love. Next up, we got quite a few. Stay with me, folks. Next up, we got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project every Sunday night, 6 p.m., Central Standard Time. They do like this big round table. They get a bunch of great guests in there, and you can watch it live on social media, particularly on their Facebook page. It's the People's Patriot Project. Go check it out every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, pay attention to this next one. This next one is environmentally speaking. This week's topic, what's really in the water? This one was so eye-opening and blew my mind. Have you ever, you go around the ocean and you get some of those big port cities, you see those giant ships, right? And you wonder how it keeps balanced with like a full load on. Does it just sink? Well, the ship's hull, and I didn't know this, but the ship's hull can store what's called ballast water. It's either fresh water or ocean water to provide stability and maneuverability during voyage. I didn't know that. So they're bringing on water from the port that they're in, getting loaded on. Stay with me, right? So they leave port, they're on their voyage, and they go to the next port. So what they're talking about in this episode is they talk about when a ship travels from one port to the next and then releases that ballast water into the new port. What happens sometimes with that water is it's filled with things that aren't common in that area where that new port is, such as like bacteria, various species, and sometimes they become invasive species to that area, like the green crabs. Look them up. We have an abundance of them up in the Northeast, but they're not from the Northeast. So just using the green crab as an example. The question lies then is, when you travel from different states or you travel out of the country and you come back in, you got to get, certain rules and regulations, get checked for bacteria, blah, blah, blah. Are there regulations in place for these ships that are going port to port and this ballast water that they release? The other question that's asked is, what's the international community doing about it? There's actually something going on. So make sure you check it out. It's this week's Environmentally Speaking. They're talking what's really in the water. Check it out. Next up, we got women's expressions on leadership, learning, and liberty. This week, Miss Little, a.k.a. Spotted Horse. She's a singer-songwriter from Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. Talks about songwriting, what her songs are about, and just a really cool episode. Check it out. That's this week's Let me see here. Next up, we got Time to Shine Today with our man Scott Ferguson. He's got a couple of episodes that are out this week, so go check that out. Time to Shine Today. We got Label Free Podcast. It really is simple. A holistic approach to self-confidence. Alexandria, who is a violinist turned RN, is also an author of the book It Really Is Simple, a holistic approach to self-confidence. It's a practical guide in which she shares her journey to success with the intention to inspire many others to embrace change and to pursue their dreams in spite of fear and insecurity. So check that out. That's this week's Label Free Podcast. Next up, we have the Live Free series. Jay is back, and this week's guest is none other than yours truly, me, Adam Bird. We're talking about freedom, what freedom is, and I think what I used at the time was freedom is being able to control your thoughts and to change your trajectory in life. Check it out. You're going to have to listen to it. Live Free series. That was a good one. Had a lot of fun. Next up, we have the MSEC podcast with our friends from Military Child Education Coalition. Autism. It's an explanation, not an excuse. This week's guest, military kid Austin, shares how explaining autism to others helps him fit in with other students. This is such a really awesome episode, and I love the fact that they bring in the youth on. So check that out. That's this week's MSEC podcast. Honorable mentions. We got Rise Up, Life on Fire, Battle to Be. Check it out. Krista does a great job with her show. God's Good Table. Check that out. They got some new stuff coming up. Carry On Podcast. She's got some new stuff coming. What else do we got? We have Wake Up with Patty Catter. Patty's doing a lot of stuff lately. So if you're not following her stuff and all the cool people that she's meeting, you need to. So go check out Wake Up with Patty Catter. Shout out to our sponsors, Simper Savage, HMG Beverage, our sister company. My Tax Fella, love those guys over there. Bookkeeping, whatnot, check them out. JB Auto Clothiers, newer company, check it out. That's it. That's all the time I got. We got a busy day today. I appreciate all of you. Remember, this weekend is September 11th. Yeah. Remember, where were you on September 11th? Where were you on that dreadful day? So, that's it. That's all I got. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. If you got something you want me to talk about next week, DM us or leave us in the comment section below. That's all the time I got for today. God bless you. God bless America. I'll see you guys next week.